didn't really trust them before, but then that was like, okay, I really don't have anyone. It's me, and me.
That's a hard like place to be, you know? It's like to feel alone and like you don't have anyone that has your back. That's got to be like so debilitating in a way.
It was really tough, and I was lucky to make it out of those years. I had several more really crappy things happen to me as a teenager. Like I was raped. I was molested again more than a few times.
By the same person?
Different people.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so that was the hardest thing about like my teenage years, where just having these incidences happen over and over and over again, and being like, as a woman, how am I ever going to not have this happen to me? And so I thought that was normal almost.
With that being your first memory,
it's horrible.
Again, I go back to that, but like that's got to almost seem normal to you. Like it's for sure not a normal thing, but it's
that just made me think again, this is normal. This is reality, it's horrible to think that that's normal. But I thought it was, and I truly thought, okay, the rest of my life, I'm probably going to have some guy doing something weird to me. And that is just a disgusting feeling, you know?
For sure.
I like didn't even want to be a woman. Like I was like, I will do it. I don't even know. I remember like I went through phases where I just like would only wear baggy clothes. Like I would try to be like not look like feminine because I didn't want to attract anyone. Or like I wouldn't talk to guys. There was like a phase when I was like 17 that I just didn't want to talk to any guy because I just didn't want to even have anything happen. And it was, so I started going to school, and that kind of started helping me like build some confidence. And then obviously going into like the fitness stuff. So when I was 16 and 17, I had a series of suicide attempts. That was like the last of it. That was like, I was really just like in the depths of sorrow. Like I just didn't feel like there was any way life could get better. I felt like my body had been used and abused by so many different people and so many different scenarios. It was just hopeless. I didn't feel, I wanted to just not be alive. And so I tried to take my life multiple times in different ways, and none of them worked. But one of my last like suicide attempts, I ended up like on the side of the road. I had overdosed on like 75 sleeping pills. But luckily, it's crazy. So I got into this argument with my mom, and this is like probably one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. I got into this argument with my mom. At this point, I had kind of decided that I didn't want to keep going to high school because I just hated it. I was so uncomfortable, whatever. I was kind of getting bullied a little bit here and there because I was different and I was lost. And anyway, so I go home and I take all these pills, and I was like, this is it. And I lay in my bed, and I'm about to kind of just go numb. I feel like my body just kind of going numb. And my mom comes downstairs because apparently I had an appointment to meet with a tutor who was going to help me get my GED so I could like actually stop going to high school. She comes down, she just starts screaming at me. She's like, you need to go right now. You're late to your appointment. I was like, what? And I get out of my bed. I get out of my bed, and my body just like collapsed. And I was like, whoa, I can't feel my arms, my legs, nothing. And anyway, so I like kind of pull myself up, and I'm like, whoa, okay, I gotta go. And like, I'm like basically out of it. And I told my mom I couldn't find my keys because I was just gone. I was not there. I had literally taken 75 sleeping pills.
You remember all of this?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I remember bits and pieces. So basically I get upstairs somehow, and my mom like gives me her car keys, and she had just got this new minivan that was like a tank, a Honda Odyssey. And like, it's what saved my life, which is insane. So couldn't find my keys. So I had to drive her car, and it beeps when you don't put your seatbelt on. So I like start backing out, and I had to put my seatbelt on because it was beeping, which I don't know. I was not conscious enough to think about that, right? And then I like start driving. Shouldn't have been driving, obviously.
Of course.
So, and then I stop at the stop sign, and I felt like whoa, this doesn't feel right. I'm not driving normally. So then I get onto the highway that like, you know, goes through by Chevron and then in Salem.
Is this? In Salem, okay, yeah.
So I'm like heading up that road and that was when I fell asleep. So I fall asleep and I apparently go into the other lane. I crash into another car and then like I like spin out and go off to the side of the freeway. And there were the things that actually happened and there were the things that I was like hallucinating because at this point I was also dreaming.
Yeah.
But basically the accident, because of the accident, I was able to like get adrenaline pumping in my body. Yeah. So I had like a hormonal response to it.
Yeah.
So it was like the worst thing because I had hit someone and I felt like absolute shit about myself. Yeah. Just knowing I had hurt someone else. I didn't want to hurt anyone else.
Yeah, but also the 17. Best thing because, that
the adrenaline.
Yeah, the adrenaline kept me awake long enough for them to keep me awake to basically figure out what was going on. I was rushed to the hospital.
Did you tell them that you overdosed?
No.
Or
at that point, I was in and out.
Figure it out.
And it was horrible because what they did in the hospital was they forced me to do a catheter.
Yeah. And
that was like, I was getting pinned down. Tell me if this wouldn't trigger someone who's been molested. I was getting pinned down by 4 or 5 people and getting something forced inside of me because they needed a urine sample.
Yeah.
And I was refusing because I was not there, right? So that was terrifying. And I still like just get so freaked out when I'm around doctors and stuff. Yeah. It's crazy. So, but they did take like a blood sample and they were able to find that I had just toxic levels of whatever was in my blood. So if I wouldn't have gotten that accident, there's no way they would have been able to keep me awake long enough to like get it out. And it was really scary. And I felt horrible when I saw the kid. It was like a high school kid that I had hit, but he was okay.
Luckily,
but still, and then I like got my license revoked. It was basically like a DUI. But even the judge, when I had to go to court, he's like, "You are so lucky your mom like came in and was yelling at you, and like this is a crazy thing, but it's a miracle.
You're lucky to be alive.
It's a miracle."
Yeah. Wow.
And so I had to do like community service, and I ended up going to Kenya. Like my dad had a guy that had some foundation in Kenya, and so I was able to go to Kenya like a few months later to like make up that time, and that totally changed my life. Like
just
nothing
because
else.
You saw how those people live, or what was it?
I think the biggest thing was just when I went to the village the very first day. We were just in the middle of nowhere, and I saw all these little kids that were just like they were grateful, whatever. And I don't know how I totally feel about this because I think that there's obviously so much you can learn from anyone, and I feel like I was kind of privileged to be able to even go there in the first place. So I was lucky to be able to go there for sure. But just the joy that you saw in like these people and
from just
the kids
having people
just being
around.
alive. They had nothing.
Simple things,
they were starving. They had crazy stuff they had to overcome in their every day. But to be able to just like see the joy and the laughter and just be with nothing, that was like really eye opening for me. So I remember being impacted by that.
Is that where you got the idea to become a personal trainer, because you're helping people, and so was that like instrumental in that decision?
I think that I think that those people helped me more than I helped them. Honestly, like the kids helped me a lot. They reminded me that what they reminded me of, like these kids that I spent a lot of time with, is just that they showed me the beauty of humanity, and they definitely made me feel like there's more than me, and I needed that because I was like, I've suffered in my childhood. I've had all these confusing things happen to me, but there is so much to be done. Yeah. And that is true. And that's something I live to this day, just knowing like, if you can survive this life, then there's a chance you can help someone else. Yeah. Which can hopefully give them a reason to survive their life and keep that going.
And then,
I agree 100%.
That expands and with the person you're helping, like maybe that makes them want to help someone else, and then it goes on from there, and eventually it could spread across the whole world.
It's
you
a
know,
ripple
never
effect.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that so much. And I feel like I've had so many bouts, you know, of depression and just dealing with PTSD.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, when I'm down and when I'm depressed, it's very hard for me to look outward. And so I'm reminded whenever I'm training someone one-on-one, which is every day. And I'm so grateful for my job, just that, you know, we need each other and there's always something you can do for someone else. Like, and I don't know, maybe that's selfish. It is kind of selfish because it fills me, I feel like a lot, but I feel like
that creates a better coach, I think.
Yeah, it
like,
does.
I can focus on them for an hour, you know?
Yep. If you feel like you're getting something back from the actual person at the gym, like it can really affect how you train someone, you know?
Absolutely. I love being able to be a coach. And so actually what got me started on training, when I was 17, one of the things I was trying to do to feel better, this was before I had, you know, that incident that we just talked about, but I had decided to get a gym pass.
Yeah.
So I was about the same age. And it was just an idea I had. Maybe if I go to the gym, I can start feeling better about myself because I felt like shit about myself. And so I was like, Mom, let's go get me a gym pass. So I got a gym pass at this little gym in Payson. It was like the only gym there. And I started going there, but there was a guy there, actually. He was really funny. He was like a convict. Like he had just got out of prison, but he was like the nicest dude ever. And
you might learn a lot from
just a person that was going to the gym, or
he was like helping his buddy out. Like it was his buddy's gym, and he had given him this job to like kind of take care of the gym when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And really nice guy. But he was like,
when was this?
This was, oh my gosh. I'm so bad with dates. It would have been when I was 17. So like 12-ish years ago.
Okay.
So anyway, I can't remember his name, but this guy literally changed my life.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Yeah.
He was like, if you keep coming, I'll show you things to do here.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, sweet. Like it was like basically free training, but he had no agenda. Like he had nothing to do. He was just at the gym doing his thing, and he would like show me how to use the machines and how to use the weights. He taught me how to do everything. I had zero experience with that. And
he's like, we learned this one in prison.
yeah, exactly. No, really though. But I thought he was so cool because I just thought that was cool that he was just like, he is fresh out of prison.
Yeah, and
he was trying to
willing
help me.
to help someone. Yeah,
That's awesome.
And I didn't feel like sketchy around him at all. Like, which is saying a lot because I did feel sketchy around a lot of people, but didn't feel sketchy around this guy.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So,
about that.
but he was just a good guy. Like he was in prison for like some drug offense. Who knows if what it was, but very nice guy. So anyway, he showed me all this stuff, and I remember just thinking like, why is he so helpful? Like why, you know? And I could tell that he was kind of like happy, feeling like he had more of a purpose than just sitting at a desk. So it was kind of like, I don't know. So that was one thing that was actually my first thought of that. I go back to that a lot actually as a trainer. Like that impacted me because I obviously was really hugely blessed by that experience to work with him. And I don't even remember his name, but just him helping me, it made me see the potential of what I could do if I were to be a coach. And so then a few years later, I got like my first personal trainer certification, which was really hard. But, and since then I have like every freaking certification ever invented. And I'm going back to school now for public health. But, so I've been coaching for like almost 10 years now.
That's
awesome.
And in Hawaii, I worked at like a really fancy bougie resort for a couple of years, and I got to train some crazy people like NFL players, celebrities.
That's cool.
And just regular people. But my favorite people to work with are for sure like anyone who has an injury or has been through something really crappy. And because you
can learn the most from those kind of people. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. And it's just fun.
You
'cause
become a
everyone's
better
different.
coach when you are met with a challenge.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I've trained a lot of those kind of people, including this guy right here.
Yeah, I want to learn